So today we're taking a look at a new AIO CPU cooler, the Antec Vortex View 360. It's a premium 360mm AIO built around Asetek's latest 9th generation pump design, featuring an integrated 5-inch 360-degree rotatable IPS display. On paper, Antec is targeting both strong thermal performance and a high level of visual customization. In this review we'll be testing installation, build quality, acoustics, and of course thermal performance to see how it stacks up against other 360mm coolers. So this is the Antec Vortex View 360 AIO CPU cooler built around Asetek's latest 9th generation pump design. You can get this in the UK now. It's available from Antec directly, however it is a little pricey. Shipping is really expensive if you buy it directly from Antec. However, I mentioned how expensive that shipping is to Antec, and they've set up a discount code for Kit Guru readers, so if you put this discount code in, you will get free shipping. According to Antec, the key features of this new AIO are a huge 5-inch IPS display with 1280 by 720 resolution that can be oriented through 360 degrees to suit your build, perfect for monitoring real-time system stats or custom visuals that show through your side panel. As you'd expect from a current AIO, it's compatible with all current Intel and AMD desktop platforms, so Intel ALJ 1700, 1851 and AMD AM5. So let's take a closer look. The radiator design, as you can see, is a pretty standard looking aluminium radiator, 27mm thickness, 12 waterways and a dense fin pitch. In terms of the dimensions, it measures 394 by 120 by 27mm, so any case that supports 360mm radiators, this should fit in pretty easy. The end tanks aren't too big, so there should be no issues in terms of compatibility with cases that should accept a 360. The radiator design overall, it is quite plain. Now, considering how much this costs, £240 to £250 in the UK, is quite a plain looking radiator. There's no additional aluminium trim panels or anything attached to the sides of the radiator. You can actually see the bare rivets. This would be how the radiator comes more or less from Asetek, but you do get the Antec logo that's embossed or printed on either side of the radiator. But in terms of styling of the radiator, that's pretty much it, just plain black as it would come naturally from the OEM supplier. On the radiator end tank, you can see the tubing there is fixed in position, so there's no rotation or movement of tubing, and it does come with the fans pre-attached to the radiator. So out of the box, these are screwed to the radiator already, so bit of time saving when it comes to installation, that they're already pre-installed. Tubing is EPDM rubber tubing. It's very flexible tubing, so you should be able to put some quite severe bends on this tubing and have no worries about kinking. And you can see it is covered with a braided sleeving on there, so it gives it a more premium look to the tubing. As we go down the tubing towards the end at the CPU block side where it enters the CPU block, it is on rotary 90-degree fitting, so there is some movement in the tubing there. When you're installing it, there's going to be some movement and some play in the tubing. You can move the orientation of the tubes to make it a little easier to install. It comes with a plastic protection on the base plate. That's easy to remove. It does come with thermal compound pre-applied, but that's been removed because I've already done the testing on this cooler using some Arctic MX6 thermal compound. So the base plate is actually a microskived copper base plate. It comes with this mount pre-attached, and this mount covers both Intel and AMD. I don't know whether you can see, but there is some movement in those spring-loaded screws there, so you just need to adjust those to match up with the layout of the standoffs depending on which platform you use it on there. So nice and simple, there's no upper bracket to remove, it just one bracket fits all, which is good to see. And then we come on to the CPU block. So the housing is mostly made from plastic, very plain black design. There is a very small Antec logo on it there, but the main feature obviously of this is the huge IPS display that's attached to it that also comes with some protection on the display. And you can see there's a huge amount of adjustment in that display, so it rotates through 360 degrees and it pivots in every single direction possible because it's on a ball joint fitting that connects to the top of the actual pump housing. So you can have this in a landscape orientation, or you can spin it round into portrait orientation, and then you can obviously angle it wherever you need to so you can see it directly through the case side panel. So for me, it's one of the better displays I've seen. One thing with that display though, it does increase the size of the CPU block, so it takes up rather quite a lot of space inside your system compared to one that would be just directly mounted on top of the cooler. But obviously the bigger the display, the more information or customization you can get on it. All the customization is done through the Antec iUnity 2 software. In terms of wiring at the CPU block, there isn't a lot, so when it's installed it should look quite neat around the CPU block. You just get a standard 4-pin PWM power connection. You can adjust the pump speed using the motherboard header. So if this is connected to the motherboard header, you can use either the BIOS or motherboard software to adjust the pump speed. And then the only other connection at the CPU block is a USB Type-C connector that's used to power up the screen and for sending the information to the screen for customization. Also on the back of the screen here is RGB lighting. So behind this plastic is a load of RGB LEDs. Again, this is controlled and customized using the Antec software, and the plastic diffuses it. So you don't really get any RGB that's on show, but what this does is it kind of gives like an underglow to the CPU block area, and it illuminates around the CPU block area with RGB lighting. Then, as I touched on earlier, the fans come pre-installed to the radiator, and these are Antec Tranquil 12025 fans. Very plain looking black fans, no RGB lighting, but as you can see with the blade design, they should offer high static pressure. The standard thickness 25mm fans. A lot of AIOs recently have been coming with 30mm fans for higher static pressure, but Antec has stuck with 25mm thickness here. So again, this should improve compatibility, RAM clearance, things like that are obviously better with 25mm fans. The fans have a speed range of 400 to 2000 RPM, maximum airflow of 59.23 cubic feet per minute, maximum air pressure of 2.46mm H2O, and a maximum individual noise output of 28.6 decibels. They're not like magnetically interconnecting fans or anything special like that. They just have these small wiring tails on each fan, and there's an adapter cable included in the kit, so you can join these together and then it just tails off to a standard 4-pin PWM connection. So the fans can be connected directly to a motherboard or a fan control hub and controlled either by the motherboard BIOS or by motherboard software. So in terms of what else is included with the cooler, you get all the accessories and you get the installation manual. That's really easy to follow. There's a couple of boxes. So there's an accessory box. Everything's included in the accessory box, and this USB hub box obviously contains the USB hub, which you connect the screen to, and then you connect the other end of the USB hub to a USB 3 header on the motherboard. There's also a backplate for Intel installation, Intel specific standoffs, a pair of AMD upper mounting brackets, the adapter cable for the fans that splits from 3 connections to a single PWM connection, and then a small packet including the mounting screws for the radiator. So it's quite an interesting looking AIO CPU cooler. I'm interested to see how well this performs as well as how good it looks once it's installed. So let's have a look at how easy it is to install. Our test system uses an ASRock Phantom Gaming X870E Nova Wi-Fi motherboard and an AMD Ryzen 9 9950X CPU. So I'll quickly run you through the installation process on AM5. First, link the fans together using the supplied PWM adapter cable. Then remove the stock AMD upper mounting brackets from the motherboard. Install the Antec upper mounts found in the kit, tighten them in place using the stock motherboard screws. Then place the CPU block over the CPU aligned with the upper mount and bracket and tighten the spring-loaded screws evenly and progressively in an X pattern for optimal contact. Then for the wiring, connect the fan cable to a 4-pin PWM header, usually labelled CPU_fan. Connect the pump power cable to another PWM header, usually labelled AIO_pump. Connect the screen cable to the USB hub and connect the opposite side of the hub to a USB 3 header on the motherboard. Then mount the radiator to your case and that's the installation complete. So even though it is a premium and high-end cooler with that big display, the installation process is really quick and simple. Using just the single upper mounting bracket obviously speeds up the installation. Fans come pre-installed to the radiator, so there's not much to do in terms of installation. Just a couple of connections to the motherboard and to the USB hub and the cooler is installed. Thermal compounds even pre-applied. So installation really quick and simple. You do have to install some software, so the Antec iUnity 2 software is used to control the screen and the RGB lighting. When you first install a cooler, it is actually detected by Windows as an additional display. So there is a little configuration in Windows settings or in the NVIDIA control panel to set up multiple displays, and then all the customization of the screen is done through the Antec iUnity 2 software. So you can either display the Windows desktop background, you could potentially use it as an extra monitor or as an additional monitor. You can display custom images on there, upload your own image, you can run a GIF on it, and you can also monitor system information. So like now I have the CPU and GPU temperature up there. You can get up more or less any bit of system information you want and display it on the screen too. But once it is up and running and you've got it configured exactly how you want to, it does look great. If your system's all about aesthetics, then you should like the look of the screen. So that's the installation and setup. Let's have a look at the acoustics and thermal performance. With fans running at full speed, the Antec Vortex View 360 measures 47 decibels noise output, placing it in the upper end of the chart. It's a little louder than some of the 360mm competitors, such as the Arctic Liquid Freezer 360 and the ID Cooling FX360 INF at 43 decibels, but still comfortably below several higher output models pushing into the 50 decibel plus range. At maximum fan speed, the Antec Vortex View 360 delivers an average load temperature of 59 degrees C over ambient. It sits just behind some of the leading 360mm units at 58 degrees C and matches several strong performers, including the Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 Pro 420 and the Be Quiet Light Loop 360. The margin to the very best is minimal and it comfortably outperforms a large portion of coolers at 60 to 64 degrees C and beyond. Overall thermal performance at full speed is very strong. When fan noise is normalized to 40 decibels, the Antec Vortex View 360 posts a steady state temperature of 64 degrees C over ambient, putting it slightly behind the strongest performers clustered at 61 to 62 degrees C. It sits in the upper mid-table group alongside several competing 360 and 420mm models, which suggests decent efficiency once acoustics are equalized. Under AMD PBO load, the Antec Vortex View 360 records a 64 degrees C steady state delta while maintaining an average CPU clock multiplier of 52.5 times, placing it firmly in the upper end of the chart again. While it doesn't quite match the very best results at 52.6 times multiplier, it matches a large number of competing 360mm and even some 420mm models. Importantly, clock behavior is right there with the top performers, indicating that despite sitting a degree or two behind the absolute leaders thermally, it's not limiting boost performance. So overall, at max fan speed with noise normalized and PBO results show the Vortex View 360 delivers competitive real-world performance. So there's a lot to like about this cooler. It's got strong thermal performance and relatively low noise at maximum fan speed. 47 decibels is in that range where you shouldn't find it too distracting at maximum fan speed, but then when you reduce it down to 40 decibels, which is a more reasonable noise target that you shouldn't find distracting at all, thermal performance is still up there with some of the top performing AIO coolers. For the users that want to make sure the system looks as well as it performs, that 5-inch IPS display. It's very bright and clear. There's a good amount of customization. You could potentially use it as an additional monitor or an additional display, which means you're not locked into using the Antec software to display images and to display the system information. Potentially you could use it with some other monitoring software like AIDA64 and display system information on the screen using alternative software. It is also quite expensive, around £250 to UK buyers. Couple of the minor things, the fans are quite basic looking. There's no RGB lighting on them, so maybe people who are looking for the absolute maximum in terms of aesthetics would have preferred some RGB lighting on the fans. If RGB lighting's there, it can always be turned off if you don't want it. And another minor point worth mentioning is the RGB lighting for the screen. It can't be connected to a standalone RGB controller or a motherboard header, so RGB lighting must be controlled by the Antec software. And as I say, because it's detected as an additional display, there is quite a bit of software configuration in Windows settings and in the Antec software. So even though the initial installation is quick and simple, there is quite a bit of software configuration needed. It's a bit of a tricky one, this one, because it is a very nice looking AIO, performance is good, but it is quite expensive. And in this current climate, with things like RAM being so expensive and that affecting the cost of a lot of other components, I'm not sure this was the best time for Antec to launch an expensive AIO. Are you putting money into expensive AIOs currently whilst building a PC, or are you saving that to maybe afford a graphics card or more RAM or more storage? So even though it's a really nice looking product and it performs well, at the moment it might be a difficult buy with everything else being so expensive. So that's the Antec Vortex View 360 360mm AIO CPU cooler. Let me know what you think of this cooler in the YouTube comment section. If you've enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Kit Guru if you're not already a subscriber. If you enjoy what we do here at Kit Guru and you want to help support us, you could always head over to our store and pick up some merch, or you could subscribe to our Patreon. You can also catch us on TikTok now, and if you want to catch up on all the other in-depth technical reviews, head over to our website.